Hi everyone, welcome to Kitchen IQ. There's a reason chicken biryani has earned a legendary reputation. People often think it's one of the hardest dishes to cook at home, filled with complicated steps and restaurant secrets that seem impossible to recreate. But the truth is, great biryani isn't about making things difficult. It's about understanding a few simple techniques that allow every grain of rice to stay separate, every piece of chicken to remain juicy, and every bite to carry layers of flavor. Once you understand why those techniques work, biryani becomes surprisingly approachable, even for someone making it for the very first time. One of the biggest mistakes home cooks make is believing that adding more spices automatically creates a better biryani. In reality, balance matters far more than quantity. Every spice has a role to play. Some provide warmth, some contribute sweetness, and others create the deep aroma that makes biryani instantly recognizable. When these flavors work together instead of competing, the final dish tastes rich without feeling overwhelming. The journey begins with the chicken. Fresh, bone-in chicken is often the best choice because the bones slowly release flavor as they cook, making both the meat and the rice taste more satisfying. Before any heat is applied, the chicken is coated in yogurt along with ginger paste, garlic paste, salt, turmeric, red chili powder, coriander powder, cumin powder, and a little garam masala. A squeeze of fresh lemon juice adds brightness, while a small drizzle of oil helps carry the flavors throughout the marinade. As everything is mixed together, the yogurt gently starts tenderizing the meat, allowing the spices to penetrate beyond the surface. While the chicken rests, another ingredient quietly transforms the entire dish: onions. Thinly sliced onions are cooked slowly in oil until they become deep golden brown. This stage requires patience. If the heat is too high, the onions burn before their natural sugars have time to caramelize. If the heat is too low, they soften without developing enough flavor. The perfect fried onion has a beautiful golden color, a delicate crisp texture, and a sweet aroma that becomes one of the defining characteristics of excellent biryani. Those fried onions do much more than decorate the final dish. They add sweetness that balances the spices, deepen the color naturally, and infuse every layer with a gentle richness. Even a small handful mixed into the marinade can noticeably improve the final flavor. Rice deserves just as much attention as the chicken. Long-grain basmati rice is ideal because of its fragrance and ability to remain fluffy after cooking. Before boiling, the rice is washed several times until the water runs nearly clear. This removes excess surface starch that could otherwise make the grains sticky. After washing, soaking the rice for about 30 minutes allows it to absorb water gradually. As a result, the grains cook more evenly and are less likely to break during boiling. The cooking water itself is another opportunity to build flavor. Instead of plain water, it is seasoned generously with salt and infused with whole spices like cinnamon, green cardamom, cloves, bay leaves, and a few black peppercorns. As the water reaches a rolling boil, these spices release subtle aromas that gently season every grain of rice from the inside out. Timing is everything during this stage. The rice should never be cooked completely. Instead, it is boiled until it is roughly 70% done. If you press a grain between your fingers, it should still have a firm center. This is important because the rice will continue cooking later while layered with the chicken. Fully cooked rice at this stage would become soft and lose its beautiful texture during the final steaming process. Now the kitchen begins to smell unmistakably like biryani. The marinated chicken is placed into a heavy-bottomed pot. As it starts cooking, the yogurt thickens into a flavorful gravy while the spices bloom in the gentle heat. Oil carries the aromas throughout the pot, and the chicken slowly releases its own juices, creating a naturally rich cooking liquid without the need for excessive water. Heavy cookware plays an important role here. A thick base distributes heat more evenly, reducing the risk of burning the chicken before it has time to cook through. Professional kitchens often rely on heavy pots for exactly this reason. Good cookware creates consistency, and consistency leads to better food. Once the chicken is partially cooked and surrounded by a fragrant sauce, it's time to build the signature layers that make biryani so special. Half of the rice is spread gently over the chicken without pressing it down. This creates tiny pockets where steam can circulate freely. A scattering of fried onions follows, along with chopped fresh cilantro and mint leaves, whose bright herbal notes balance the richness of the spices. A few spoonfuls of warm milk infused with saffron, or simply milk mixed with a pinch of turmeric if saffron isn't available, are drizzled over the rice. This doesn't just add color. It creates beautiful patches of golden rice that carry subtle floral notes and make every serving visually unique. The remaining rice forms the final layer. More fried onions, herbs, a drizzle of ghee, and perhaps a splash of rose water or cura water complete the assembly. These fragrant ingredients are used sparingly because their purpose is to enhance, not overpower. The goal is elegance rather than intensity. Now comes the stage that truly transforms separate ingredients into one harmonious dish. The pot is tightly covered, so steam cannot escape. In many traditional kitchens, the lid is sealed with dough, trapping every bit of moisture inside. At home, a tightly fitting lid works perfectly well. The biryani cooks gently over very low heat, allowing steam to move upward through the layers before returning downward, carrying flavor into every grain of rice. This gentle steaming process, known as dum cooking, is one of the oldest and most effective cooking methods. Unlike vigorous boiling, steam cooks evenly and preserves texture. The rice finishes cooking without becoming mushy, while the chicken absorbs even more flavor as it rests beneath the fragrant layers. Patience during this final stage rewards every minute spent waiting. Opening the lid too early releases precious steam, interrupts the cooking process, and prevents the flavors from fully coming together. Professional chefs often say the hardest part of making biryani is resisting the temptation to peak. When the lid is finally lifted, a cloud of aromatic steam rises first. Notes of cinnamon, cardamom, caramelized onion, fresh herbs, and warm spices fill the room instantly. The rice appears fluffy and separate, with white and golden grains woven together naturally. Hidden beneath the rice are tender pieces of chicken coated in a thick, flavorful masala that has reduced to the perfect consistency. Serving biryani requires a gentle hand. Instead of stirring aggressively, a large spoon is used to lift from the bottom, bringing rice and chicken together in each serving while preserving the distinct layers. This simple technique keeps the rice light and beautiful instead of crushing it into a dense mixture. Many people enjoy chicken biryani with cool cucumber raita, fresh salad, or a simple boiled egg. These accompaniments provide freshness that balances the richness of the dish without competing with its flavor. Even a squeeze of lemon just before eating can brighten the spices and make each bite feel lighter. One fascinating aspect of biryani is how its flavor continues to evolve. After resting for a short time, the spices settle, the aromas blend even further, and the overall taste becomes smoother. That's why many cooks believe biryani often tastes even better a few hours after it's finished, or even the next day when gently reheated. Perhaps the greatest lesson hidden inside a simple chicken biryani isn't about spices or cooking techniques at all. It's about patience. Every stage, from marinating the chicken and frying the onions to partially cooking the rice and allowing the final steam to work its magic, contributes something meaningful. Skip one of those moments and the dish changes. Respect each one, and ordinary ingredients become something memorable. What once seemed like a restaurant mystery is really a collection of thoughtful decisions made one after another. Understanding why each ingredient is used, why temperatures matter, why timing changes texture, and why steam creates harmony gives you confidence far beyond this single recipe. It teaches you to cook with intention instead of simply following instructions. The next time someone tells you biryani is too difficult to make at home, you'll know the secret. It isn't about mastering hundreds of complicated techniques. It's about giving simple ingredients the care and patience they deserve. Do that, and every fragrant spoonful will remind you that extraordinary food is often created through the simplest methods, prepared with understanding, confidence, and just the right amount of time.